coming back if this is the first time. Hi. Um, in this video, I'm not going to be turning anything amazing or special or different. But what I'm doing, I've been kind of thinking of my channel and things, and it's called Turning and Learning. I'm not really an instructor at this. As a matter of fact, I'm only actually 6 months into this little journey of turning. So, what I really want to do is just kind of show you what I do, what I use, how I learn it, and hopefully somebody else learns something, or in someone seeing me can help correct me in the comments, things like that. I always encourage a little interaction. So, but here's what I'm going to be making. This is a debowler, is what this is called. So I got an order to make another one of these, so I'm going to fill it up. So what I do is I make this nice little finial. This is African blackwood. Real hard, sturdy stuff, so it makes it great for when you put your pipe on there and kind of scrape out what's left inside. Nice deep black walnut for the outside. This one was mine. It was a prototype. It is the prototype. Got the old crack here in the bottom and things. But so what I have here is we have some African blackwood. We cut this down. I cut this down into a 3/4 by 3/4. Maybe it's half by half. I think it's half by half actually. But I just cut it down into a nice square, long, straight, and we're gonna turn spindle turn that. I already have it chucked up over in the lathe over here. Just a small spindle turning to make that finial that goes in the middle. But that'll be made out of that. And then I have this nice piece of black walnut right here. I get these. They're called like defective blanks, but I don't know. I'm digging what's going on. So maybe it was just cut a little awkward to size or something. I haven't actually measured it, so it might be off. But this is gonna make something nice. So this is what we're gonna get into. Let me show you the tools that I use, and I'll show you the chucks, all those things. And maybe explain a few things that I struggle with and or that I'm really learning. All right, so that intro might be a little wonky. Haven't done a video in a while. Forgot to flip the phone. So, equipment. I'm using a Laguna Revo. This is the what is that? The 12, 16, something like that. I love this little lathe, amazing little lathe. This is a Vevor chuck. We got our blackwood chucked up in there. Nothing special over here. These are minus this one, but these will be the tools that I pretty much use for the entire project. I have a 1/2-inch spindle gouge, 2 3/8. I'm sorry, not a spindle gouge. I have a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. Let's go over here and look at that. Try to show you the can show you the grinds and things. I'm working on sharpening, so they're not bad. They seem to cut pretty decent. I may need to take a little bit off the heel of that. I feel like there's kind of a little edge on that heel, but still working on that. It's a process. 3/8 bowl gouge. I have a second 3/8 bowl gouge that I use right here. Oh man, this is a mess here. So this is an M42 cryo, and I can tell you that the difference in this steel comparatively, come on, focus, comparatively to these Amazon, these were Vevor also tools. You can see how much longer the M42 holds its edge and things like that. It's I really actually enjoy these fine by tools M2 cryo. The handle feels nice in it. It sharpens way nicer. You lose less of that steel, things like that. So I really do enjoy this. I'm going to be using initially, to start this spindle right here and rough it down and stuff, I'll be using 3/4 skew. I like to kind of do that, and then I'll put the lines in where kind of the details, the cove, the little bars. Man, focus is just terrible today. And then some lines. I will use that until I go to roll some of those beads, and then I actually picked up this. This is a crown 3/8 spindle gouge. This is really nice for making. This is the M42 razor edge. I wanted to see if the cheaper Find by Tool M2 Cryo actually felt the same as the Crown Cryo, and it kind of really does. So both, I love this tool. They stay sharp. This Crown also has a very comfortable handle. Very nice. So good tools here. But enough about all that crap. Let's get this thing spinning. I'm going to turn this finial, and then we'll get the block put on, and then I'll show you kind of putting the block on and everything at that point. But at this point, I'll just be done talking, and I'll let you watch me spin.
All right, we got it chucked up, got it spinning. I test spun it, make sure everything's spinning nice. This is how we're doing here. I am going to crank this up. I'm gonna do these cuts there at about 18. It looks like 1814 RPMs. Just because I don't feel like changing my belt. That's what the speed will give me, the highest on the mid-range belt. So we're gonna come on, focus, man. So we're gonna get to cutting at 1814 RPMs. Figure out. I'm gonna make this bowl. Okay, here's my blank. We're gonna give you a nice look. I think it's gonna be super cool. But I can never decide. Do I make this the bottom, or I should say, should I put my worm screw inside of here to kind of get rid of all of this, maintain all of that, and there's something with the grain going this way, which is more natural to the bowl? Or do I flip it this way in which I think it'd be kind of nice to save some of that light wood as we possibly come into the top edge, but then all the rings point down. I'm going to do it this way. So I will put my worm screw in here. This will be the bottom. I'm sorry. I'll put my worm screw in here on the light side. So that will be the inside of my bowl. This will be my foot. And so that's how I'm going to do that. So with this, I am just going to take the old square, corner to corner. Let's get that corner to corner. Scribe a line, corner to corner. Scribe a line. That gets my center. Okay. So then I just need to drill my worm screw hole. Find my worm screw hole driver bit. Aha. All right, we have it taped off. That's all the worm screw I want to go in. So, center. And there we go. So, that's all we need. I'll take you over to the lathe. We'll get it put on the chuck with the worm screw. Now, this is an interesting one. I have had kind of mixed feelings when I started turning with worm screws. I really like them. Sometimes I feel like you got to be real precise. Drill your right hole. Sometimes I've had the worm screw just kind of eat out the wood as I tried to put it in. So I'm getting better with mounting on the worm screw, but it is one of my more favorite ways to do it. It holds it super solid. I can work the whole foot, things like that. So let's go get it on the lathe. All right, we got it mounted up. So there you are in the worm screw. The important part is to have a nice flush face, from my understanding. Part of the important parts when you're mounting it is having a nice flush face there from your whatever your surface of your worm screw to your timber is. So we've got it locked down. Tool rest is ready. I may move it over just a little bit so we can go across side. Let's get it spun up. Turn it down. Turn on. Get it spinning just to see what it does. Now let's turn her up. At 745, there's a super small wobble. But I can take this up as far as it seems. I like to do the outside of my bowls around 1250-ish. So I can get there. Seems good. I'm actually going to bring my tailstock in a little bit for the beginning of this just to make sure. And then once I actually get to doing the foot, I will pull the tailstock away. So here's what we got going on, 1250. We're spinning. I'm going to be using, to start off, a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. Yeah, see if we can get a good, there we go. You can kind of see my grind. Working on that stuff, but this is just a Vevor, kind of that starter kit you can get real cheap. So let's put this going and let's make us a bowl. All right, hopefully this shows well. We can get this. So I want to put a little detail down here, plus a dovetail for the mortise. So I am actually going to be using a skew here to do a little bit of work. I'll pull my tailstock off of here. I don't know why I still have that on there. And so we're just going to do something like I want to lift this up. And then I want to put maybe like a small round in the middle. So I'm going to put a line, something like that. Let that skew make kind of a nice little groove in there. And then I'm just going to roll that over a little bit. I'm doing all this before I'm actually done because I want to get the general shape, and then I'll kind of move it all back in so that it's concave so the bowl sits just on this rim. Right now the rim is also a little extra thick. So let's see. I want to put maybe a bead right here. Move that in like that. Just use it to round a few details in. I think I like that. So get over here by there's the actual dovetail. Move that around. And stop and look at that. So this is still a little flat right here. So I will probably come in and come from that side and round that off, but I'm going to leave that there. Let me get a measurement and tell you how deep that is, but I'm fairly certain that it will hold that just fine. This thing measures depth. That won't do it. My batteries are going dead in my micrometer. 2 millimeters. Okay, let's make a final cut on the outside.
so at this point, well, I've got it hollowed out to kind of, it's more of a flat bottom with a small little dip going in. Those, I like to use my radius, where are we? Here we go. My radius carbide scraper. I'll use that to flatten the bottom and then just really crisp, clean, define the side wall in the corner.